Nobody else can tell you what your employees need except for the person right in front of you. I had a need to eat, but it wasn't my paramount need. Ms. Conger showed me that if you can uncover the paramount need for somebody, it may take a little trial and error, but if you can uncover the paramount need, it changes everything. Next story of the day, I'm going to talk fast, don't listen slow. Next story of the day was, let's say, picture day is coming up on Wednesday. All right, what are you going to wear for picture day? Show me your smile. Kid after kid goes up. You know, little Angelica, she's like, I got this outfit, I got my hair, I've been practicing in the mirror. Okay, Angelica. Then we got little Johnny. He don't know. I don't know what I'm going to wear, but here's my smile. And then he's off. And then I come up, I'm like, I don't care about picture day, Miss Conger. Like, what are we going to have for snack? And I'm off. And then Miss Conger, in these everyday stories, she gets an idea. When you leave this room, you're going to see clues more clearly than you did before. We're bringing this to the forefront of our mind. When you hear these clues, you're going to get an idea. When she heard she don't care about picture day, she comes up to me in class and she whispers in my ear. She asks, Alyson, would you like to stay after school tomorrow? I can put your hair up in sponge rollers. We can fix your hair real curly for picture day. Would you like that? And immediately my mind was going like a Rolodex. Some of you are like, what's a Rolodex? My mind was like, like a Rolodex. I'm thinking, okay, hold on. You know what? Miss Conger's beautiful. If I think about that picture day, that's back whenever we would get a yearbook. And in class, they give you the yearbook. And the yearbook mattered because as soon as you got the yearbook, you didn't have a ton of pictures of everybody. You had this one. And in the yearbook, when people opened it up, they'd cross out the people that didn't matter. And then they draw a heart around the people that did. And your best friends could sign on the crack. And I thought, you know what? If I could look as pretty as those other girls, if I could look as pretty as Miss Conger, everybody loves her. Maybe everybody would love me too. And so as I'm sitting in that desk and she's whispering that in my ear, my answer is yes. I'll get a permission form. I go home, I come to school the next day. If there was ever a day I'm sitting in my blue metal chair watching the clock, it was that day. I could not wait until ding, 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 2:45. Because at 2:45, the rest of the class will get out of here and me and Miss Conger can get down to business. We had work to do, important work to do. I thought that this picture would change my life. I believed it to my core. I was looking forward to this moment. Miss Conger comes over. She takes me by the hand. We go sit behind her desk. Now, the chair that I sat in was usually a chair kids sat in whenever they were in trouble. My husband is here somewhere, so I'm not going to tell you how many times I sat in that chair before, but what I will tell you is that that day I wasn't in trouble. That day, I can tell you as a grown woman now, is the earliest memory I have of feeling like I mattered to somebody. What I continue to find is that more often than not, our purpose in life, it might not be across the world in a village bringing water. That's wonderful if that's your purpose. Our purpose probably is not in the technical work that we do. But if we want more joy, if we're feeling a little burnt out in our work, it's important that we recognize that there's a reason you're in your position with the people you are right now. In the season of life they're in right now and that you're in right now, there is a reason and a purpose for it. And when you uncover their paramount need and you serve it, you will find more joy because your impact becomes undeniable. I'm sitting there in that chair. Miss Conger pulls out the pink, yellow, blue, green sponge rollers. Anybody remember those? Your mama, your grandmama you used them. She takes my long, stick straight hair and she starts rolling it up in these curlers. And as she's rolling it up, I remember that Miss Conger had shut the door to her classroom before she came and sat down with me. And as she's rolling up my hair, Miss Conger's best friend at work, Stacy, she opens up that door. We can hear it. This is an old school. The door creaks, and I hear, Christy. I cut my eyes over. Christy is Miss Conger's first name. I cut my eyes over. And she just starts talking. Stacy starts going, Christy, you're never going to believe what I heard. And typically when you hear you're never going to believe what I heard, we want something juicy. Like, bring it on. But as I took my eyes from Stacy to Miss Conger, Miss Conger had never taken her eyes off me. Now I'm looking eye to eye with Miss Conger. And she does just like this. She says, not right now, Stacy. I'm with Alyson. It only takes a moment for someone to feel like they matter to you. And it only takes a moment for someone to feel like they don't.